Ladies and gentlemen, say hi to Thiago Messi Roccuzzo, the first son of Lionel Messi and Antonella Roccuzzo. The kid's only just 9 years old, but the whole world already has their eyes on him. You know, of course, that comes with being the son of arguably the greatest player of all time, but the question is, his father's fame and influence aside, how good is Thiago Messi actually? Football talent is one of those things you could argue is just hereditary. We've seen football superstars give birth to superstars. Maldini, Kluivert, Weah, Chiesa, Wright, Reina, Holland, and so much more. But is Thiago good enough to make this one of those cases? Let's see. Some years back, the kid was enrolled in FCB Escola, a Barcelona school which trains and instills the club's philosophies in kids. The school is typically for children of the players and staff of the club, and they have to be between the ages of 6 and 18. But Thiago was so talented that he was enrolled in the school when he was just 3 years old. And don't get it wrong, FCB Escola is different from the famous Barcelona La Masia Academy, where Leo himself graduated from. Apparently, only the outstanding players from Escola get to make it to La Masia. And guess what? A couple years back, Thiago was promoted to La Masia, where he played with Benjamin Suarez, the son of Leo's really close friend, Luis Suarez. It's extremely easy to say that Thiago's just getting all this attention and opportunity because of who his dad is. And while it might be true to a certain extent, you actually have to watch the kid play to know that he can get a huge chunk of that attention just right on his own. You could say that Thiago's already following in his dad's footsteps, but Leo's been doing his best to just not put any pressure on his son at all. There's no pressure from his dad to overtake his legacy or even be like him. Years before he made it to La Masia, Thiago didn't have much interest in football at all, as everyone expected him to. But that didn't bother Leo at all. In an interview, he said that he stopped buying Thiago balls and never forced him to play, since he noticed he wasn't even that interested in playing it. But as time went by, the kid picked up interest in the sport on his own, and he's been doing pretty great ever since. You want to know how great he's doing? You can check out some of his clips. The kid's pretty dazzling with the ball at his feet, but, of course, we know that playing football in your backyard with your brother, your father, and your dog, it's just not the same thing as playing in an official match. At least, official for your level. In his very first game for the Barcelona under-8 team a couple years back, Thiago Messi scored a goal. His team may have been humiliated 9-1 on the day, but the Wonder Kid still gave a good showing. And he was just getting started. In his second game, he stepped up for his club like his father did for Barcelona on countless occasions. He wasn't going to let the 9-1 of the previous game repeat itself, so he took matters into his own hands. And can you guess what the eventual scoreline was? 9-2. They really went in on their opponents. The star of that match was none other than Thiago Messi. It was only his second game with the side, but he pretty much controlled the game and scored a brace to help his team to a very vital victory. That very game, which happened in March 2020, went viral. And since then, the world's been taking the little Argentinian wizard a little more seriously. Many have said that he has a lot in common with his dad, especially with the kinds of runs he makes, and how he's able to dictate play while still scoring goals. But a huge distinction between father and son is, as we've seen, Thiago's favorite foot is his right. And of course, you know what Leo's favorite foot is. Ironically, Benja Suarez's dominant foot is his left, while his father prefers shooting with his right. Basically, if you just watch him a couple times, you'll know that Thiago Messi is actually pretty good, which is pretty incredible for his age. In fact, it's so incredible, he's already being called the future of FC Barcelona. Definitely not the near future, but the future nonetheless. This is one of the reasons that Barcelona's board and fans felt a huge sense of loss in the 2021 summer transfer window. Yeah, sure, nothing could have been worse for Barcelona than losing Lionel Messi to another club for free. But to compound their woes, Leo left with his son, whom the club was hoping would grow up with them and become just as important as his father was for them. Anyway, while Barcelona mourned the loss, At the other side of the border, PSG was celebrating their huge gain. In that window, the French club signed not one, but 3 Messis, all for free. After Lionel Messi finalized his move to the Parisian club and settled in properly, he enrolled his 2 older sons, Thiago and Matteo, in the PSG youth teams. Matteo now plays for PSG's under-7 side, while Thiago plays for the under-10 side. And what do you think? Of course, they have already started dazzling in Paris too. So how good is Thiago Messi? Honestly, he's pretty good. But of course, there's going to have to be some areas he'll work on if he wants to have a good career as a professional footballer. One of them is his strength and endurance. Leo's talked about on a ton of occasions how talented his kid is, but he's also talked about how his kid also gets tired a little too quickly. And according to Leo, after a little run around the pitch, Thiago gets exhausted. Well, that is pretty excusable considering he's only a child. We think that with consistent training, he's going to be able to go longer minutes on the pitch without getting tired. So yeah, we pretty much expect to see Thiago take the world by storm in about a decade from now. But you know what we shouldn't do? Constantly compare him to his dad. Comparing children to their parents puts a ton of unnecessary pressure on them. And it's gotta be even worse when that parent is the greatest player to have ever kicked a ball. So, I guess the best thing to do is to just keep watching him and supporting the Argentinian kid and see how far he can take his footballing career. That's if he even decides to go pro. But from what we've seen in the last few years as a baller, we know he has what it takes to go ahead and win the Ballon d'Or. The kid already has enough experience holding the golden ball in his hands. Will he get a couple for himself? We have a long time to find out. But for sure, he'll have enough competition from his friends, Benja Suarez and Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. As a matter of fact, we've already seen folks here and there begin a mini rivalry between Thiago and Cristiano Jr. Will those two go on to establish a rivalry just as their fathers did? That'd be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? Speaking of crazy, did you know that the age difference between Cristiano and Leo is the exact same age difference between Cristiano Jr. and Thiago? Exactly 869 days between the two pairs. Is that the universe trying to set up some type of football rivalry dynasty? We know for sure we'd love to see that. Would you? Anyway, we want to hear your thoughts. How good do you think Thiago Messi is? And by your assessment, how far do you think he's going to go in his career as a professional footballer? Let us know in the comments. Do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Until then, peace!
Thank you.